Hello everybody, welcome back to the layout, and today I have a small progress update on the layout for you. So without further ado, let's jump in. Alright, so moving right into the things is the first thing I want to talk about today is this little project I've been working on right here that I'm kind of referring to as the nondescript shed, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's this, the roof isn't glued on yet, but it is this little long kind of building. It's not affiliated with the railroad in any way, but it's sort of just a generic building, shop. Who knows what this is? You wouldn't in the real world. You're not gonna on the model railroad. Anyway, no particular prototype for this building. But it was fun to build. I sort of started building it when I had this idea to combine two different types of styrene texture into one wall like this. You can see I have sort of the corrugated material as in the roof, and then some of this wider spaced board material. You can look into the inside of the building and see this is just held on by two small strips of styrene. Not the most, we'll say advanced strategy, but it works actually quite well. This bit is quite on there if you aren't like torquing it back, trying to wiggle it back and forth a lot. It holds on quite well. I also have these kind of ajar doors, which are kind of a fun detail, and I thought were fun to make. It has a door here that I haven't added yet, and some kind of little power apparatus here to break up the blank back wall. But other than this door and the roof being glued on and paint, this building is just about a finished project. I don't know yet where I'm going to put it on the layout, but it'll probably end up being tucked somewhere like there, somewhere sort of where it really plays kind of the role it's meant to, sort of as a background, sort of like almost an extra if this was a play. And the next thing I want to talk about is this stuff, which is to me a panel liner, I guess you call it, panel line, which is weathering agent. Some call it taco sauce, but anyway, taco sauce for trains. Anyway, I weathered this car with it, and I think this turned out pretty good actually, sort of going for just a slightly grimy finish. I've looked at this, and also it helped bring out some of this roof detail I liked. As you may remember, this was one of the cars I reviewed in my double hopper cars video, or I looked at. Anyway, I built this, and it has been upgraded with KD couplers, my favorite 148s. And I think this stuff, though I haven't used it that much, has some exciting prospects. So watch out for it in the future. And if you have any tips on using it, please leave them below in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Which that brings us to our third thing, and probably one of the more exciting topics that I'll cover in this video, is this Locomotive 3846. Now, on the outside, nothing has changed, but on the inside is where the real transformation is. And the real transformation is that I finally got this thing programmed. It has a Tsunami 2 decoder in it, and I finally got it programmed to my likings. Oops, I broke that. Fix that later. Anyway, I got that programmed to my likings up. It runs so much better now. And that was all with a little help from the Southbound switching layouts, Tsunami 2 analog JMRI video. That was very helpful. I have not dove into the consisting realm of that video, but since I only have one other locomotive, it's not super, I guess I don't really have much to consist it with, period. So anyway, maybe in the future I'll do that, but I'm really enjoying this, running it now. It crawls beautifully at slow speeds. It even sounds better. The digital dynamics exhaust is improved. Even the brake squeal, kind of the, whatever it's called, maybe it's the independent brake, but that's really fun. Anyway, this locomotive has become so much more enjoyable since that, and thank you, Southbound switching layout, for making such a great tutorial. That was awesome. I have my sheet of tweaks right here, and Anyway, I'll put the link to that below. You should definitely watch it if you're trying to do anything with the Tsunami 2 decoder. Here's a quick demonstration of the Locomotive for all of you. So you just look at how slow it creeps now. Anyway, I'm really impressed with the performance levels this Locomotive has after those simple tweaks, so definitely check that video out. Anyways, the next thing I want to talk about is another exciting development in the progression of this model railroad, and it's a purchase I've made, which is this Walther's Wet Dry, I'll turn it sideways so it fits in frame, storage bins kit, which has the resources to build 2 of these towers. And I've actually begun on the first tower, which I have right here. The roof, as you can see, is not glued on. That seems to be a common flaw in my ongoing projects. But anyway, I've had some fun building this. This is eventually going to go just down that way a little bit on this track. In the rear, this is going to be some kind of agricultural related feed mill. Pretty typical of my area. Anyway, this has been an interesting kit so far. I've had some ups and downs, but mostly assembly's been smooth. I've definitely learned stuff. I've had to make my own a part for it that I lost on the floor. Still down there somewhere. It's a very small part, as you might imagine. But anyway, this has been fun. This is, as you can see, is almost done. All it needs is the ladders on the side, which will go here, and some paint. I have some gray kind of concrete color paint for that. Anyway, there'll be 2, as I said, and they'll go down there accompanied by a building, and that should be a pretty fun kind of statement industry for this region of the layout. Anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is this little scene down along the main line. As you can see, it has a tree temporarily in place. This little bush. Actually, it's quite flat. Looks better that way. Anyway, this scene's big change has been the addition of this big slab of foam that raises up the level of the surrounding terrain up around the track a bit. And also, I'm thinking of fudging in another piece of foam here to sort of create which will sort of serve as a visual separator between the main switching area of the layout and this industry over here, instead of this just being flat. I think I'm going to cover this. This is going to have trees, and the train is going to sort of semi-pass out of view. It's going to have a few trees here to sort of obstruct your view. But anyway, I feel like just looking at the scene, you can see the scenic potential for photography coming out of this, coming out of the woods, up the slight grade here, through the fields, across the creek down here. My GP9 is making funny noises. I need to turn that off. Anyway, I'm going to end this video off with a question for you. This is an Atlas 50-foot box car that I picked up a while back, and this is one of my favorite cars that I have on the layout. It's awesome. Look at that detail, like underbody too, and I got it for all of $30, which relatively to other stuff is expensive, but for a model train car, that's cheap. Or at least for a model train car of this quality. Anyway, though, the only real flaw, obviously, of this car is that it comes with these bad factory Accumate couplers, and they're not good. They don't couple on impact. KDs are so much better. And I tried to replace the car's couplers, starting with one on this end, and as you can see, this is lacking a coupler right now. The reason why is because my normal KD 158s actually do not fit in the coupler pockets here. They're too narrow. And I'm wondering what I should do with this. I don't want this car to just sit on a track on a siding like it has been for quite a few weeks now, and I want to get this car back running. It's clearly not going to run this way, and I want to switch with it. I want to have fun with it, but these couplers won't do it for me, and my KDs don't fit. So if anyone owns one of these cars, if you don't, I'd recommend picking one up still. I'd like to hear how you got couplers in it, if you have, and what couplers you used. If anyone has any tips for that, please leave it below in the comments. I'm stumped on this one, and I don't want to fix it by going and buying random couplers until one fits. So if you have a recommendation for a KD that fits in this car, or a modification I can do to the car to make a KD fit in it, please let me know. I'd love any help I can get. But anyway, that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye. See you in the next one.